Hello everybody, my name is Brittany, and my YouTube channel name is Divine Entity. This is Preston.
Hello, hello.
Yes, like and subscribe. This is my first video, so I'm sorry if it's kind of weird. I will be talking about this book right here. I don't know if anybody knows this book, but it is called To Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper, and I figured I would talk about this book since, you know, the coronavirus is going on and there's all kinds of conspiracy theories going on, and this book right here, I think it explains a lot of how the government works and society and the New World Order.
Yeah, I've skimmed through it and it pretty much sums up corruption really well.
I'm going to make several different videos as I read the book, and I'm going to go over it. So, let's get started. It starts out with silent weapons for quiet wars, and I would consider the coronavirus a silent weapon. You can't hear it or anything. Would you consider it that?
Yeah, biological warfare of silent weapons.
Mm-hmm. There's something in the book right here, and it says everything that is expected from a regular, big weapon like a nuclear weapon or something like that is expected from a silent weapon. The same, outcome. But the difference is that they don't want anyone to know or realize that it is happening. So there's a lot of confusion that goes on, and it doesn't necessarily interfere with anyone's life either. Do you think the virus interferes with people's lives?
I mean, I'd say so. Everyone's jobs have been shut down, so it's interfered pretty hard.
Yeah, so here's what the book says also about it. Yet it makes unmistakable noise, causes unmistakable physical and mental damage, and unmistakably interferes with daily social life, i.e., unmistakable to a trained observer, one who knows what to look for. So, what exactly do you look for? That's the question,
What does it
say? It does say it. There's some other stuff that I want to say first, and that is a silent weapon is applied gradually. The public adapts to its presence and learns to tolerate its encroachment on their lives until the pressure, psychological via economic, becomes too great and they crack up. Silent weapons are therefore a biological warfare. It attacks the vitality, options, and mobility of individuals of a society by knowingly understanding, manipulating, attacking their sources of natural social energy and their physical, mental, and emotional strengths and weaknesses. It's pushing everybody to the brim. It takes away your jobs, which
It locks you down in your house for 2 weeks.
It locks you down in your house. It gives you money problems. A lot of people, they're stressed, they did everything right. They worked, their whole lives. They, had a savings account. They had money put back just in case, and they thought they were prepared, but they weren't prepared. They weren't prepared for something like this. And that's what it means by strengths and weaknesses. And all the, the nurses out there who are pushed to their brim right now. It's just, there's not enough masks,
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Yeah, and it's just, no. And it's just crazy. Something I would like to talk about in order to fully understand everything is energy. And William Cooper, he mentions energy a lot. He essentially says that energy is recognized as the key to all activity on Earth. Everything is energy. Yeah, that's crazy. Let's see. Natural science and social science are bookkeeping systems, kind of like mathematics, kind of like accounting. Therefore, mathematics is the primary energy science. And whoever's the bookkeeper, which in this case would be, the government, keeping track of everything, can be king if the public can be kept ignorant of the mythology of the bookkeeping. Yeah, I know, is that funny? And clearly, nobody fully understands the government and why they have to fill out tax forms and, do all these extra things, that weren't always there. Because that's how they watch you, through your mail and any document you fill out, your taxes. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, the census, they've been pushing that real hard.
The census, that's one of the things. Funny how they would push the census right when everyone's at home.
Yeah.
Oh, the irony.
They want an accurate head count on every American.
Yeah. Essentially, don't be a sheep, because in the view of the law of natural selection, it was agreed that a nation or world of people who will not use their intelligence are no better than animals who do not have intelligence. That would probably offend some people, but
it's true.
It's true. I know a lot of people who just listen to the news or one source and then say, oh, well, this is correct and this is correct. Well, do you truly understand how it works? Because,
Yeah, I know somebody like that, and it is just painful. They watch the news all day, every day, and then blindly follow it, even if I know for a fact that it's incorrect what was put on the news, because it was on TV. It's like, kind of like when you meet a celebrity and you get starstruck by them. It's the same
deal.
Emotional attachment that you get. It's something that just doesn't exist, but you just believe every word of it because you're so entranced by it.
Here's what's really interesting about it. Why would they do such a thing as a silent war? What would be their objective,
That's a good question.
Exactly. Well, here's the deal. If there's a bunch of sheep, in other words, somebody has to lead them, correct?
Yep.
So, those people that lead the sheep have decided that in the interest of the future world order, peace and tranquility, it was decided to privately wage a quiet war against the American public with an ultimate objective of permanently shifting the natural and social energy wealth in the undisciplined and irresponsible many into the hands of the self-disciplined, responsible, and worthy few. In order to implement this objective, a class of weapons, the silent weapons, were used. In order to achieve a, economy, the public, to total predictability, because, in order to control somebody, you have to be able to predict every move they make, and you have to be able to manipulate it. The low-class elements of society, must be brought under control through, being housebroken, trained, or assigned a long-term social duties from a very early age. What does that remind you of? Does that remind you of something? The reason that they have to, be in daycare or be in school from a very early age is so they don't have the opportunity to question anything that's going on around them, You're given the books in school that already have something written in it. How do you know that's true? You don't know, That's the government probably giving the public school systems the books which has written in it what they want written in it.
Yeah, and they're selectively ripping everything out.
Yep, and
Trail of Tears.
Yeah, what is that about the
90% of what we learned as a kid, that wasn't even 5-6 years ago, already stripped out of the history books.
What is the Trail of Tear things?
You know where they made all the Indians leave?
Mm-hmm.
And then they just took all the land.
Oh, and they took it out of the book?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, yeah, we learned about it. It's just like they don't have those Tennessee history books anymore.
Yeah.
Those little Tennessee books in school. They got rid of those, too. And it's just not the same anymore, and they're learning a different type of math. I'm sure many people know that have children. You know, they keep changing everything. The thing is that in order to achieve such a conformity, the lower class family unit must be disintegrated by a process of increasing preoccupation of the parents and establishment of government-operated daycare centers for the occupationally orphaned child. Yes, your children are with you, but if they're gone all day in school from 8 to 3 and you know, you come home at work at 5 o'clock, you see them at 2 o'clock, so essentially all day long, other people are the ones raising the child.
Pretty much, yeah, actually.
Yeah, and that's exactly why you're just automatically brainwashed from the moment that you know, are born. There's a plan for you. There's already a plan set for you. And usually the education is lower. And if the education does eventually catch up, even the bright lower class individuals have little to no chance to pave their way out of it. There are some, but most won't be able to do it.
Well, everything's set up to where you need money, and when you get that money, everything's set up to where you're automatically going to spend it on a set amount of things. Everybody needs food, but most people also, decide to spend their money on fast food. They get into this routine of buying these things like iPhones and just everything, completely just made up. Just bullcrap. Shit that you do not need. And they end up spending their paycheck on it, so what are they going to do? They have to go back to work to get that next paycheck.
That paycheck is definitely one of those things that I'm going to be talking about. The money and the economy, yeah, definitely. That's a very, very big part of it. Yeah. What I was going to say is earlier I was talking about energy, and I never really said much more about it. But energy is recognized as the key to all activity on Earth. I was going to add to that in the study of energy systems, there appears to be 3 elementary concepts. That is kinetic energy, potential energy, and dissipation. I'm not sure if I'm saying that word correctly. Dissipation. Well, there's those 3 things, and that's how all energy is. I'm not necessarily going to explain how they work. If you want to, you can look it up. Well, but here's the next part. In economics, which would be the public, or this whole government, the public, everything, there is also 3 energy concepts, and they're called economic competence, which is capital, money, stock, inventory, buildings, stuff like that. There is goods, and then there is services. And these, all the mathematical theory developed in the study of one energy system can immediately applied in the study of other energy systems. So, in other words, you can put them together, You can put regular energy to potential kinetic and dissipation and turn it into a mathematical formula on a bunch of computers, and you can do the same with this because you can apply that concept to economics, and that's what allows you to do that. And that allows you to turn everything into numbers and graphs. And that's where the economic capital goods and services, come from, and you can put all that stuff in a computer, and it gives you all kinds of information about the public and people. And there's this man called Mr.
Rothschild.
Yes.
Yeah, I know it's hard to say.
Thank you. Who discovered the basic principle of power influence, which can have control over people as applied to economics, which is what I just said. Here's what happens. Let's see. Here's what happens, and what I'm about to read is kind of happening right now. I will explain how in a second. I'm sorry, I know you're not getting to speak a lot.
No, you're good. You're good.
So this Mr. Rothschild loaned his promissory notes to individuals and governments. These would create overconfidence. Then he would make money scarce, tighten control of the system, and collect the collateral through the obligation of contracts.
No.
The cycle was then repeated.
They had to put their gold up as collateral to get the currency, which and benefits that ended up getting shrunk down and diminished over time. So then they signed a contract when they first signed up, stating basically they'd give their collateral up if everything fell through, which it was systematically planned to fall through.
Well, here's it gets even more interesting. So the cycle is repeated, and these pressures could clearly ignite a war, and that goes on in the economy all the time. Always talk about war, not war. And then he would control the availability of currency to determine who would win the war. So if you have enough money, you can determine who wins the war, which seems to be the case right now with the president, if you want me to be honest. And that government, which agreed to give him control of its economic system, aid to the enemy. I'm sorry, I just read the wrong thing. That government, which agreed to give him control of its economic system, got his support. So whoever essentially let him take over the country got his support.
Of course.
That kind of sounds like the dude in Russia. What's his name? Putin? It kind of sounds like, because I read about him and how much he's worth and stuff, and it says that he essentially, can take any car or anything, even though it doesn't belong to him. Yeah. That kind of sounds like that, don't it? I don't know.
He's got very special privileges.
Yeah.
that everyone else doesn't have.
It must be nice. Collections of debts was guaranteed by economic aid to the enemy of the debtor. He found that the public greed would allow currency to be printed by the government order beyond the limits. This is called inflation. Or the production of GNP, which is gross national product.
Yeah.
Yeah. The products, goods. And, but currency printed beyond this point is subtractive. It's not good. You do not want extra money to be printed, and I'm pretty sure, isn't that happening right now?
Yeah, that leads to hella inflation.
Yeah, that shouldn't be happening. And it's false inflation. It's not real. The inflation, you're just putting yourself more in the negative, in other words. It's hope is all it is. Call it hope. Inflation is hope. And, yeah. And because this causes indebtedness, war is therefore the balancing act. Because it kills the true creditors. It gives someone blame, like a country, and then it kills the blame. And then everything is normal again for a little bit and stable. Everything is how it's supposed to be.
All that so one person can make some money.
Yeah. In other words, that currency gave him the power to rearrange economic structures to his own advantage. So that's where that quote comes from. I don't know if I read it earlier. I think I did. And that was, "Give me control over a nation's currency, and I care not who makes its laws." That is Rothschild.
Yep.
Yep.
Huh.
He was absolutely correct, and that is what's happening right now. He's the inventor of this little last piece of the puzzle, and enough time has passed for them to have computer systems to get all the correct, numbers. In the 90s, it wasn't like that,
Yeah.
It wasn't advanced enough, but now we have 5G going on. Wonder why we have 5G going on. Probably because they need more advanced systems so they can get all the numbers to keep track of everyone. Think about that. That's probably why. It's not for us. It's not for us to get higher speeds. I don't think that.
Yeah, there's something going on with the 5G.
I don't want 5G. Okay. There's something else I want to talk about, and that is UPC codes. Yeah, everyone will be surprised about this one. So there is something called a shock system. Where is this shock system? I'm trying to find it. I don't know where it is right now, but I really don't. But either way, the response of a household to future shocks can be predicted and manipulated. So everyone can be predicted or manipulated. Eventually, every individual element of the structure comes under computerized control through a knowledge of personal preference, such as knowledge guaranteed by computer associations of consumer preferences, the Universal Product Code, UPC, the little zebra stripe thing that you scan when you leave the grocery store, which identifies customers via association with the use of a credit card and later a permanent tattooed body number. I'm not sure what it means by that body number, like if it's in a system, like you have a number or something, or if it's like a number they're going to eventually give you. I think it's like maybe a system and then, like you're a number in a system or something like that. Everybody has like a number, but I don't know what it means by tattooed. That's kind of weird. It's in capital letters, later a permanent tattooed body number, so I don't know. Kind of weird. It's like he's warning us of something. But yeah, think about that. So everything you scan, and buy, not only, does stores have, the little cards, like a Ingalls Advantage card, or, a Food City card, and you go and it gives you these rewards, but in reality, your name is linked to it, and it stores every product that you buy and shows, oh, you buy diapers, you buy fruit, you buy meat, you buy this type of toilet paper, and you buy this brand right here, and how much of it you buy, and it shows if you're male, female, what age, because you usually give your birth date and everything, has your email address, and then if you don't have one of those cards or whatever, then it gets you through your credit card, because all your information is linked through that, So regardless, they're probably already got you and are tracking you and know what items you buy in a store if they really wanted to. So just be aware of that, everyone. Truly understand how deep the government has its hands in your daily life, and you don't even realize it. It's all because of a Harvard economic research project. It says 1948 till, and it doesn't stop. So maybe it's still ongoing. This book was written, when was this book written? I'm not sure. It was like 1990s, 1989 or something.
It's getting pretty dated.
Yeah, it's getting pretty dated, but
it still holds up 100%.
Yeah, it explains what is going on and why we need to change it, and we need to come together and stop it, because a government doesn't exist if the crowd doesn't go with it. Always remember that. If we all chose to quit our jobs all at once and demand higher pay, and literally every single person for however long it takes, they would freak out.
Mm-hmm.
We could have it different if we really wanted to. And then here's what goes along with the UPC codes. When a public normally thinks of as an industry is really an industrial complex where several industries under one roof produce one or more products. And, you can go online on Google and you can, look up which company brands belong to which, one brand, and, all that stuff.
Never thought about that.
No, have you seen the little pictures? I wish I could have a computer and pull it up.
The pictures of what?
Like where it has all the little a bank or store, and Walmart has these smaller stores that belong to it under different names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Under different names, and it keeps branching out, but in reality it all belongs to one big corporation. It just has different names.
Yeah, like Nestle belongs to yada yada.
Yeah, Nestle and
like 100 different foods you wouldn't think about.
Yeah.
Like mustard by Nestle and, and stuff.
Ketchup, it all belongs to the same company. It's just made in different companies, which would technically still be a monopoly if you think about it.
Yeah, because they make it look like they're two totally separate companies that compete, but really it's the exact same company.
Exactly. And that is what is happening. And also not a good thing.
Yeah.
That could be changed, because, there's so many people, that have their own arts and crafts and stuff. Yeah, it's really crazy. I know I'm going to kind of cut this video short. Yeah, I'm only going to do this because my camera is probably about to die. My little light right here.
There's always a chance for a part 2.
Yes, but I am going to make a part 2 once I charge all my stuff up. And I will continue talking through a lot of this book. So keep tuning in, and thank you for watching.